Welcome to Kumbasoft LLC DPAA tutorials. Now, this tutorial is about migrating plaintext passwords to passmap aliases. So be sure to set your video playback to HD, and though some visual details of DPAA may have changed since this video was created, the functionality explained herein will be the same. So, what I've done is I've started up DPAA, I've selected a couple of appliances, I'm focusing on just one domain of objects. We can do as many domains and objects as we want at one time. I'm just keeping it relatively simple for the demonstration here. I've selected the crypto certificate and crypto key objects, and this is a special function of DPAA that requires a particular criteria to exist. So I'm going to help you out a little bit on finding these. So I'm going to select the filter button up by the object name search, and I'm going to select an add button here. I'm going to search for objects that contain the deprecated password field with something in it. So I'm typing $* because this is a regular expression on the search. And I'm looking for passwords that contain at least something in it. So I'm going to apply and close. Now I'm going to search. And what DPAA is going to do is now it's going to list all crypto certificate and crypto key objects that have a password set. We're going to sort these by main to help us out a little bit here so we can confine ourselves to particular objects. And we can look through all these things here, but at the end of the day, what I want to be able to do is I want to find similar objects for different keys and search that we want to be doing. So I'm going to select the crypto key up here, okay? And I'm going to then select these crypto certificates here, okay? Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and open these objects so you can see what their configurations look like. So we're going to pull those configurations up, and notice they cross different appliances here. And one thing I want to point out is the password alias field is blank. It's not associated with the password alias field, but the password field is not blank. That's very important because in a moment we're going to invoke the migration feature, and the only way the menu option shows up is if you have at least one or more objects selected where the password field contains a value, but the password alias does not. And the reason why it's limited to that is because if you have both a password and a password map in DataPower, the password map prevails. So I'm going to right mouse click now, or I can go to the hamburger menu, whichever you prefer to do. And there's a menu option that says Migrate Plaintext Password to Passmap Alias for applicable selected types. So again, the only time this becomes available to you is if the particular condition exists, and the only objects that you'll be able to edit or migrate are those that meet that condition as well. So had I selected other certificates or keys that didn't meet this criteria, then they would not be showing up in the list here. So now I'm at the screen where I can migrate the password aliases. So what it's showing is showing the appliance domain, the object type, the object name, the current plaintext password assigned to that, and an alias field. Now, we have the choice to select either an existing alias or create a new one. I'm going to do both kinds here. So I'm going to click into the alias field here on this certificate object, and I'm going to drop it down, and I'm just going to select a passmap alias here. So I'm going to select this existing passmap alias. I'm going to hit the Enter key. And when I do that, I notice that this entered the same passmap alias into the other certificate of the same name. This is because I have synchronized changes on. So as I'm synchronizing that, if I selected alias, if I attend appliances having the same name certificate, it would have copied it to all of them at that time. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type a new one. We'll just call it Juliet, passmap alias. And then I'm going to hit the Enter key. You notice that now it copied the newly named passmap alias down the field as well. And here's the difference of what's going to happen when DPAA saves all this. DPAA is not going to do anything with this passmap alias except for associating it with this these certificates. It's not going to change it in any way. So the thing is, if this passmap alias doesn't have this password in it, then those objects may not come up when you save. So you might want to know what passmap alias, if you're selecting an existing one, you might want to know what that passmap alias has this password in it. However, here, when you create a new one, that passmap alias will be created, and the password for that passmap alias will be the password from this field. Now again, I want to repeat, this one's not modified at all, so it doesn't take on a new password, because if other objects are referencing this passmap alias, you don't want to change its password or they'll go down. But this object will take on that password and for that crypto key, and you'll know that object is up. One other option that's on this screen is the option to remove the plaintext password. In other words, when I save everything, I can choose to have the plaintext password removed from the object configuration as it's saving stuff. Now, this is a one-or-old condition, but there might be times, especially if you're selecting the passmap alias and you're not certain the password for that passmap alias is this field, you might want to just be sure about that and keep that password around by selecting that button. At this point, it'll still associate the passmap alias with the object, but it won't. It won't remove the plaintext password that was there. Now, the object, according to DataPower rules, the object will still, the passmap alias will still prevail, but it'll let you know right away, oh, that passmap alias may not have been the one I wanted, and then you have some opportunities to change that back. But the idea of the migration feature is to remove those plaintext password migrated to a passmap alias. So I'm going to select Finish now. And DPAA has now gone out there and made the necessary changes for this. So we've got the Juliet service and the resource scheduling certificate there. And I'm going to search again. Oh, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work. I got to take out this filter because the password didn't no longer exist. I had to remove. So let me clean that up. And then I'm going to search again. And then what we'll be able to see is we see that the Juliet service here is modified. And if we go down here, we'll also see that the resource scheduling object is modified. So we can see in both cases, they are modified. If I sort by config state, I can get them all together in the list. So you just see, these are the things that we modified. So now at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open them back up so you can see what has happened here. So I'm going to select them again. I'm going to open them back up. And then what we're going to see when it pulls those configurations up now is you're going to see that the key, okay, the key, this one and this one, okay, had the new passmap alias that was created, and the cert has the existing passmap alias that was already there. Now, this is one of those cases where you can also change this here if you want to, but you don't have to. And notice that the password field has been blanked out. Now, had I not removed the password plaintext field would still be here, but the purpose of the migration is to clean this up, replacing it with this feature here. And so that gives you everything you want to be able to do to migrate that, because that password field has been deprecated, and we have no idea when IBM may remove that from your list, and you just want to make sure all your objects are set to go when that time comes. And this is going to help you get there so fast. You can do it with so many objects at once. You can build new passmap aliases. It's very quickly. I can see that my domain has to be saved in these appliances, so I'm going to go ahead and select the Save button to save those domains, and it's going to go out and save the domains in both of those appliances. And now my objects will no longer be considered modified. They're going to be saved now. And so you can see one example of it right there, that this is now considered saved, and the diskette's gone, indicating to you that the domain has also been persistent. So that's how you migrate passwords to passmap aliases with DPAA. It's a very powerful and very convenient feature. So if you want to go out and you don't already have a copy of DPAA, go out here to www.kumbasoft.com. Go download the copy and request your license. Go to contact this page, put in your information, and somebody from Kumbasoft will be getting back with you. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.